So, there are monsters coming to Pillar Chase 2 that have been confirmed. This video is going to be going over some of those confirmed monsters, talking about their abilities. Some of these monsters have already made abilities in their wiki, and then some of them don't. For the ones that don't, I will be making up moves. Number 1. Suitmations. He has a bit of a moveset, so I'll be making the rest like in the description. Before we start, real quick, now I have watched the Suitmation trials, and the move should be a bit better, sticking to a slow but strong monster, since he's a ghost demon that possesses the suits and kills some people. Passive. A bar of radiation is on your screen, and it slowly fills up over time. This is used for his other abilities. Well, it's used for more abilities to come. It's like Baldi's meter. Number 1. Radiation Beam. Stand still and shoot a beam of radiation forward, and it follows where your head is looking. The higher the amount of radiation you've gained, the farther it goes and the longer it lasts, but using M1 will cancel it early. This also uses up radiation and drains while you use the move. It will do 10 damage per tick until it stops. For like a little radiation, it lasts for 2 seconds. For a full meter, let's say 10 seconds. Has 7-second cooldown. Great move! Shoot radiation like a ranged weapon, and you can move the aim around and hit multiple people. But it's a costly move, so you have to manage your radiation to not lose it all. Number 2. Stalk. The map suddenly becomes 65% darker for all survivors, making it extremely hard to see you and making you 50% more quiet, allowing for a sneak attack. The only way to really see is with a flashlight, since it darkens the map, not darkens the usage of items. This drains radiation the longer you use it. It has a 5-second cooldown. This is meant to represent how that army crew saw the original Suitmations before he was in the suit, with only the kid actually seeing him. It's nice, allowing you to sneak up on players. Considering how big this character is, and how slow it will probably be, you'll need ambushes or sneak attacks to actually hurt people, because if they see you coming and you don't have much radiation to shoot at them, they're going to live. Number 3. Strong Bite. This is a move that replaces Radiation Beam when you have no radiation. It makes you lunge a bit forward and bite, like a grab, and if it lands, you deal 50 damage to a survivor. If missed, you get stunned for 2 seconds. Number 4. Radiation Leak. This move replaces Stalk while you have no radiation charged. Radiation comes out of your spikes and sticks to the ceiling. If a survivor walks under it, their sprinting gets cancelled for 2 seconds and charges your radiation a bit. Let's say enough to shoot Radiation Beam for about 3 seconds. Good to use during chases, because of how slow you'd be, stopping a running survivor sprinting will help in chases and get you a bit of radiation. He's a big and bulky character, slowly moving but packs a punch if up close. You'd be placing radiation above survivors or on trees to help in chases and get you radiation, while using your radiation to sneak up on survivors or shoot beams at survivors to damage them. Number 2. Gorefield. He has no description for any moves he has, but he has 3 forms he can switch through at will, so those will be included in the moveset. I'm also not entirely sure what the forms are, but I've heard from sources that they're a butterfly and a caterpillar, so this time I'll be giving my ideas on how it works. His passive is Hungry. If you're around no players, you get a major speed boost and it highlights 2 closest players to you, until you're close enough to players to start losing stamina. It's like Sonic.Exe's passive, but it highlights 2 players. Number 1. Transformation. When used, you get the option to switch between the other 2 forms you're not currently in. Your caterpillar form allows you to climb walls, but with decreased speed and increased damage. Your butterfly form allows you to fly, both increased walking speed and decreased damage. You can only stay in butterfly or caterpillar form for 20 seconds before you revert back to normal. Has a 15-second cooldown. Since transforming is one of the main things about Gorefield, it would have a decent cooldown but long duration. You choose to either be fast but low damage, slow but high damage, or in the middle of normal, and using the maps to your advantage. Honestly, flying is great in Eclipser Forest, but not that good in the Joy of Creation or Baldi's Schoolhouse. Like how Caterpillar wouldn't be great in Eclipser Forest, but great in the Joy of Creation or Baldi's Schoolhouse. Number 2. Lasagna Loot. You may go and place a fake task on the ground. It looks exactly like the one of the certain task on the map, but it has a bit of a red tint to it. If survivors attempt to do the task, it will explode into lasagna and deal 35 damage, while the survivor is highlighted. It has a 5-second cooldown and only 3 tasks are allowed. It's like a bomb in damage. It explodes and highlights the survivor who tried to use it. You'd have to place them strategically since it wouldn't let you place them directly on task, but close enough to look like an actual task. Number 3. Guns don't work. You pull John's gun out of your mouth and fire, shooting a cluster of 15 bullets into the direction you're looking. Each bullet does 5 damage. That's a 15-second cooldown. I honestly don't know too much about Gorefield, but I know that John tries to shoot him and it doesn't work, resulting in this line, which is the only one I know. It's good. It's a ranged move and deals up to 75 damage if on land. Also, for the funsies, probably no physics, it's a gun, and he's like an infected alien cat thing, so they travel until it hits an obstacle or a person. Those freaking Forest King mains sniping me are about to upgrade from a sniper rifle to a shotgun if this was added. Mother, number 3. She has no description besides her image, so I'll be imagining the moves for her. This was actually really fun to make. Passive, lights out. Flashlights will flicker the more closer you are to her, and disable sprinting for 1 second if within her chase radius the moment it flickers. Basically, your flashlights are always flickering, but it flickers the closer you are to her. Once within her chase radius, it'll disable your sprinting for a second. This is because basically, you'll know if she's coming for you because of your flashlight giving it away. So she can actually get up to you, it disables your sprinting for a second. She also has another ability, which I don't know to label as a passive or an ability, so it's just here. If she sprints, she retracts her head into her body and gains increased movement speed, and half damage. She'll do 15 while sprinting. While walking, her head pops out of her body and she deals normal damage, doing 30 like Mimic. Number 1. Distinct Hearing. She highlights all close players, making their flashlights flicker like bonkers and draining their flashlights percentage by 30, as well as giving the survivors a slight stamina drain. Has a 10-second cooldown. It's good. It highlights survivors who are close to you, making their flashlights go crazy, and actually decreasing its bar and giving stamina drain. It's nice for finding people and preparing for chases. Number 2. Mother Seeks. You may go into the walls of the map and traverse them, and pop out of them by cancelling the ability or using M1. When you enter this ability, everyone's flashlight will flicker to warn them, but will not flicker anymore until the ability is exited, allowing you to sneak up on people. You only make a slight noise while on the wall, which is just deep ambiance. When you pop out of the wall, you launch forward in the direction you're facing and deal 40 damage to anyone hit. If you miss, hitting another wall stuns you for a second. Your stamina drain is slightly decreased while using this. 19-second cooldown. It's actually pretty cool. You go through walls, sneak up on people, dealing damage if you hit someone. It's great to find people and extra damage. If someone's getting away too quickly, you can use the ability to quickly win chases. Overall, this is a fun killer. It's like a rush and ambush killer. Basically a better Rosemary. Use the hearing to lower people's stamina and highlight people, go through walls to ambush people or find people, and it seems pretty fun to fight against or play as. Number 4. A01. This suit is hard. Mainly because I could literally find like nothing on the wiki, besides that this dude was made for Power of Peanuts, and on her birthday, Bowser Sin 21 designed for him for Pro Chase 2. It's pretty cool, but let's just try our best to theorize. Passive. Grudge. Highlight players with half their objectives done every 10 seconds. So, what I didn't learn is that he holds grudges on the scientists that created him, so this is like, kinda for that. It's a nice highlight ability, and instead of being based off of damage, it's on completed objectives. One more thing that I didn't write for this. This would be really good because it would pressure people into not wanting to do objectives. But, I mean, they want to do objectives because it lowers the time, so they have to decide if they want to be seen by you, or if they just want to, you know, just make it normally without doing any of their objectives. Which also means they're not getting any monster objectives, so you're really torturing people with this. Number 1. Document. It shows a trail of footsteps for each player, and makes a stinging noise on everyone's screen. This will show all the footsteps around the map for a place that a player is gone, changing their color for different players. This will last for 4 seconds. If a player is dead, their footsteps will not appear. This will not highlight the player though, only the footsteps. It will also not update where the player is currently moving, but as where the player has left off before this ability is used. It has a 10-second cooldown. It's kind of like a highlight. Moreover, it shows you where people have been, and can be useful for finding people. But when you use the ability, the footsteps will pause, meaning it will stay in the last place where the player was before the ability was used. Meaning, like, during the last players, you won't see where they're heading, but you can guess off of the footsteps. Also, if they have their freaking objectives done. Number 2. Torture. A01 will grab ahead of him, catching up to 3 players, one held by each hand, and then one by his tentacle on his hand. He will proceed to make his horse skull disappear, revealing his true face, then screaming at them, dealing 35 damage and slowness for 3 seconds. It has a 16-second cooldown. It's nice, it's AoE, it's a grab, and it causes slowness. Not really much to say about this one, useful in chases, or attacking a bunch of people together. This torture move is based off of how he likes to torture those the same way they tortured him. Overall, he's more of like a hunting killer. Highlight players, follow footsteps, and take on crowds if needed. He's just kind of a chill guy. It's also pretty hard to make moves for a character where you have like 4 senses on info on him. We know he'll make horse sounds though, at least I think. The last one, the dog. So, what I know is he's a cryptid haunting a duck hunt game, and he kills kids. He has no decided moveset on the wiki, so I'll be making my own for this. His passive is Fleeing Duck. Whenever a player manages to escape from you during chase, they're highlighted for 2 seconds. It's a good passive. If someone escapes during a chase, you'll still have a little bit of an idea of where they are while they flee. Number 1. Duck Summon. The dog will reach into his pocket and pull out a corpse of a duck. It will fly towards the closest player and grab them. After the duck has grabbed a player, it'll drag them to the dog and highlight the grabbed player. To escape the grab, you have to press space or tap screen 12 times to escape, and it will deal 3 damage to you per tick you were grabbed. Has a 16-second cooldown. This is pretty nice. You'd pull out a duck and it will drag a player closer to you and highlight them. It's kind of like a reverse Thorny Grave, and it's like one of those spider skulls Vapor has. I think it'd be fun to play against as well, because you'd be fighting back against a duck instead of a demon spider skeleton baby. This would also be pretty good in chases, because if someone's getting too far away, "Go, my duck!" and boom, they're brought back to you. Number 2. Ambush. While using this ability, you'll give off no noise cues, including no chase music. You cannot sprint, but you will be able to walk around 40% faster than your normal walk speed. Pressing the ability again while using this will cause the dog to grab forward, and if he hits someone, he'll grab them and stab them, dealing 45 damage and bleeding like the mimics, and causing the ability to end. If missed, nothing happens and the ability ends. It lasts for 15 seconds. He does increased M1 damage in this state. While using this, you'd have to try to sneak up on people. You don't go invisible like mimics, so you'd have to hide around corners and use the fact that survivors only see in first person to your advantage. Grabbing someone will deal a lot of damage and bleeding, so it would be great for hiding around walls and doors like in the cabin or forest, the Joy of Creation, and Baldi's schoolhouse. He would be an ambush killer, sort of. Sneak up on players and grab them to stab, you know, surprise attack mother lover type stuff. Use the ducks to grab people and bring them to you. Just be real sneaky. One more thing before the video ends. I've seen a comment in which the wiki was wrong. It might not be because I don't know which to trust, the comment or the wiki. But in case the wiki is wrong, then all of Valem's moves in the previous video are Slenderman's moves instead. Well, thank you for watching. My next video is not going to be a part 3 of this, it's going to be a custom concept. It's going to have 5 monsters, and all of them are going to be custom. There's going to be, well, I'll tell you 3 right now. There's going to be the Pontiac, I don't know how to pronounce that. And there's going to be the Pontiac, SCP-173, or basically a Weeping Angel. That will probably be a skin for it. And the Grim Creeper. So, I hopefully will see you there. Part 3 is not cancelled. It's going to happen, but I'm just going to post the custom one before it. If you want to submit any custom monster ideas or abilities for already made monsters that haven't really done anything. Again, I'm not a developer, I'm only making these videos theorizing what could happen. If you want to help out, or just give ideas, or just chillax with the gang, I have my Discord server, you can join. See ya.